And do this and do that. And there we go. We are live at the Hive.
Yay.
Episode 34.
34.
Wow, 34 already.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Conspicuously absent today is Courtney Castle, who is enjoying a lovely stay on Niagara on the Lake.
Sounds
for
beautiful.
The bachelorette party, getting the perfect weather for
Great.
it.
Yes, gorgeous.
Lucky her. Yeah.
So if Courtney, if you're out there, hope you're having a great time.
Hi.
Who's watching the stream? Is anybody watching the
Yeah, let's
Actual-
Yeah, I'll bring it up and
Yeah.
I'll
Bring
keep
it up.
track of.
who's saying what?
Who's saying hi to us today?
Let's see. There we go. We are live.
There we go.
We got 9 viewers. Alex, Thomas, Katie, Thomas,
Thomas.
my insurance broker.
Oh. Hi, Thomas.
No, he works at Sun Life. He's a great guy. He helped us out with the insurance on our house.
Oh, great.
So yeah,
Right on.
last week I was conspicuously absent.
Yes.
Here I just started the wave by yourself. Like,
Oh, you're zoomed in there, Dan.
oh, did I do it again?
Yes, you did it again.
I did it again. I keep doing it.
It's like
It's all
Wayne's
right.
World.
Just
Oh,
1 second. Oh no,
there's-
connect.
There's the start of the wave. Wave.
Here we
Oh,
go.
and more waves.
Yep.
I'm trying to
Wave,
fix
wave.
this, but the Mevo is not participating.
Technical things.
Technical issue. Here it goes. Lost your connection. We're gonna have to put up with it for a second.
Yep.
We know about this. This is a known issue. I'll just do this.
Hey, Dad.
Just
So I'll
connecting
just
back
stand
to
up
the.
and scoot over.
Just do like
Where-
a,
which
just
way am I going? This way?
There, that way.
This is the extreme close up of me on the live. There we go. Got it.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
We're back. So the problem is, see that it's the Mevo is controlled actually via Studio via the iPhone, and if I tap the screen the wrong way, it awkwardly. I wasn't even in the app. That's the crazy part.
I think when it goes to sleep, it auto.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should just leave it.
That's- yeah.
Okay, so today, without further ado, last week, by the way, where I wasn't here, was the worst weekend of my life. I moved.
Yeah.
That was a hot day on
Yeah.
Friday, too.
I bet.
It was a hot like 4 days.
That's crazy.
Moving boxes for
Ever?
3 days.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Never ending, but
Yeah.
it's all done now.
Worth it in the end.
Yeah,
It is worth it in the end.
It's worth it.
It is totally worth it in the
Yes.
end. So today we're talking social selling. So let's flip over here. Wrong one. Jeez. You know why? I'm just out of practice.
The
Yeah.
rhythm. Yeah.
I just gotta get.
It's coming back.
Stella got her groove back. I'll get my groove
Yeah.
back.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see. I just want to make
There
sure
it
because I'm gonna close that Mevo app. Okay. Cool. So introducing social selling. Who wants to
Hi.
start? April can give us a kickoff into what social
Awesome.
selling is and what it means.
So social selling is kind of the process of like researching, connecting, and interacting with your prospect customers on social networks. So basically the power of the engagement and relationships. It takes a lot of nurturing. It's not just like
It's just not like off the cuff. like,
Exactly.
yeah. It's not cold calling at all.
no, yeah, it works better than cold calling, obviously, because you have to actually build that relationship. It takes more time, but people they're more trustworthy. You know, they trust you more.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It just builds a social proof.
So up on the screen right now, and we're gonna talk about different tools that you can use.
Yeah.
You're saying we have an echo.
Uh-oh.
Do we have an echo, or is this
Maybe.
isn't Nira? Nira, do you have an echo in your head? Does everything
Do you have
sound?
the live open twice?
Does everything
Yeah.
sound echoey today, Nira, or is it just this? Let's see here.
I think we should
Let's
be
see.
good.
That's
the
a
Mevo
nice
audio
Like I
is
said.
not on, so
We have 16 viewers. Megan,
Wow,
Matthew,
great.
Hannah, Thomas, Alex. Wow.
Hello, guys.
This is
Aaron, we got
great.
Aaron on live now.
Wow. So anyways, I'm totally not on my game at all. Like I'm totally.
Well, you had to move a whole house. That's
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's true.
That's a lot.
It's true. It is true. So looking at this up on the screen, you'll see the graphic, and it's actually a really good one. I'll
Yeah,
zoom
great.
it in a little bit more so that it's easier
we
for
go.
everybody to see. There you go. Sales 1.0, sales demos, qualify leads, cold calls, basically the annoying world
Yep.
of the salesperson that you would have known previously. And bad sound.
Uh-oh. From
Well,
where?
we'll do a little monitor check.
Let's do a monitor.
Yeah, we'll do a monitor check and see what's going on.
All right,
Can do
let's test
that.
it out.
That's okay.
Is this?
We fix.
We'll fix it. It's gonna be fine.
So in the world of there we go, social selling. One of the things that you want to really, and this is why it really does apply for everybody in every business,
Yep,
whether it's
definitely.
B2B sales or car sales or agency sales,
Yep.
anything. And in fact, when you have a longer sales cycle, it's better, but it's all about building truly a relationship and using social networks as the vehicle
Absolutely.
that allows you to open the conversation, keep it
Right.
going, keep it natural. Then when you build that rapport, you're able to educate them. And again, in the social sales world, it's really leveraging social networks for the purpose of building real relationships across a group of people. So now it's better.
Great.
Thanks, Hannah.
There you
We're
go.
glad you got it. Also, one other note for everybody watching on Facebook. Facebook Live does have a feature that if you're using the speakers, it will actually dampen down the sound. Facebook
interesting.
wants you to use headphones.
Oh, I didn't know that.
For those, yeah.
Good
That was
to know.
actually a friend of mine that's a gamer that went over to Facebook Live from Twitch.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot
Facebook
of them are
gaming.
starting to do that. Yeah.
I did notice that. Yeah.
Money.
Money. Facebook's paying.
Money. They have it.
And they have it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks, Hannah, for the shout out on the audio. So we did get that fixed. But
Perfect.
again, in the social sales world, it's really leveraging the relationship and then positioning yourself as a thought leader and using all of the assets that we talk about every week in content marketing.
Yep.
But also layering that in with developing a personal relationship with someone you may not know,
Right.
right?
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think, like we said before, it just creates a more genuine persona for
Like
your
trust.
business
Yeah.
as well. Yeah,
Trust,
developing the
for
social
sure.
proof. I know last week we talked about how contesting on social platforms is such a great way
It's
to
amazing.
develop your social proof and kind of develop that relationship with your customers or another business.
Very
yeah.
strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, whether you're using something like contesting, which is a way to open a conversation, surprise and delight people,
Yep.
make them happy, with LinkedIn as an example, and I use LinkedIn very frequently for Sales Navigator, and it's got some great features that allow you to naturally open a conversation. Yeah, and there's a few.
genuine.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was just agreeing. Yeah.
So LinkedIn, and this conversation has come up multiple times in the past week. So LinkedIn, and if you're in sales and you have questions about social selling and any techniques that we have, feel free to drop them in the comments.
Yeah.
Even if you're not
Yeah,
watching
definitely.
live, we do monitor the comments after the fact. And yeah, questions are always welcome. So LinkedIn, and I'm just gonna quickly, if our laptop is gonna cooperate. So Sales Navigator has just been re-released by LinkedIn. It did. I know some people have had various experiences with it in the past, but I don't think the past kind of relates to the present with LinkedIn. Yeah. So when Microsoft acquired LinkedIn back about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now, effectively what happened was the beginning of a huge rewrite of LinkedIn.
Yep.
Right.
Right. Definitely.
The biggest one is kind of the LinkedIn that you see now, which is more modern. But if I were to go over here and look at some of the tools here, the LinkedIn products, LinkedIn bought lynda.com, Lynda, and turned it into LinkedIn Learning. So that is paced education, courses that you can take for professional development,
Yeah, it's great.
everything else. They've very heavily moved into the talent acquisition space.
Yep.
Human resources, posting jobs, right? Groups is always there. ProFinder is an interesting new one as well that we started using last week actually as to your ability to, so like Fiverr or Upwork where you may be looking for a contractor or someone to help out. The connection in LinkedIn is great because you get the validity of the profile,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
LinkedIn Salary is for human resources departments, and then obviously SlideShare. All of these are really new. And what happens is in LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you have the ability here. And if you can see, there's not only these incredibly powerful tools that allow you to create smart searches and advanced searches. But there's also one of my favorite features of this is if I'm doing account-based marketing, and let's say I'm trying to find, want to close a deal with Microsoft.com, right?
Yep.
I'm selling my product in Microsoft, so my target customer. What I can do is I can go into Sales Navigator, I can create a complex search, which you can probably see if you're on a desktop here. Let me just zoom it in a bit, whether or not it'll let me.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. Let's see if it'll.
There we go.
Nice.
It's good.
Might block it a bit, but you can see an advanced search happens. You pick geography, company size, company name. The beauty of LinkedIn is obviously everybody's keeping their profiles up to date. Oh, Elizabeth Toth. She's my friend from formerly Vancouver, now Prince Edward Island.
Oh, wow.
So I complain about my move. She moved from one coast to another coast. So I should.
tough.
Yeah.
I have nothing to complain about. So in LinkedIn Sales Navigator, what I can do is I can both connect with leads that I know. I can find the key stakeholders in a company. And what Sales Navigator allows you to do is basically create a dedicated feed of just your leads and people that you want to connect with, right?
Exactly.
Which is fantastic because, you know, at the end of the day, what you don't want to do is send a cold call, email or LinkedIn message to the president of Microsoft Canada.
Yep.
No.
Right? That's
that's
disaster.
That's no.
That would be disaster for your account. But what you can do is when you see this, pardon me, and you'll see, you know, CEOs will post thought leadership posts or a PR or we won this award.
Yep.
And you have the ability to just do a simple comment congratulating them, liking them, building that rapport up a bit. And especially if your leads don't have, you know, if your leads are Richard Branson, they're going to get 10,000 comments. But if typically your leads may not have a huge amount of engagement, that's a huge opportunity from a sales perspective to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to slowly build that rapport, right?
Yep.
And then when you're ready and you have something to show them, and you know, there's one strategy that I would say is also try to get your leads to comment on yours. Then you know you've got engagement.
You have a good relationship. Yeah. I think with it just saves more time. Developing relationships with people and companies, it takes time. It really does. And to make it look genuine and like Dan said, get them to comment both on your content too. I think it just saves a lot of time.
It does.
And it does so where it's not taking away the genuine feel of you building this relationship as well.
It's worth it.
And fundamentally, no matter what you do for a living, there's a component that I've always believed that you're in sales of some sort. You're either
That's fair.
you're either selling something internally within your organization or with your peers. Your client success manager, you're selling a relationship with our clients at all times, or I'm trying to sell a product or a service, right?
Exactly.
So usually, good question. Hannah's finding that people don't update their profile. Some stuff says on LinkedIn forever. I think the right types of people, if we're talking about B2B marketing, and maybe some people don't, but then they're obviously not the right type of lead.
Exactly.
But a lot of professionals that are active, in particular, I've seen an uptick personally of people using LinkedIn more frequently.
Same, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
That quite often the right types of leads will be active on LinkedIn, right?
Great space.
Depending on the space that you're in. But yeah, you should use your own best judgment when you're looking at profiles.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes
You can
sense.
tell when something's not up to date,
Yeah.
or if this is
Or
a
if it
person that
looks
you're
kind
not
of-
kind of looking towards. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So as an example, if I were selling social media services to a company and I thought that this company, maybe there was some level of interest, but if I were looking at the company on LinkedIn and I saw that there was zero to little engagement with the C-level staff or the directorship staff of that company, then what that would tell me from a sales perspective is maybe they're the wrong kind of customer for my product.
Yes.
Right? Maybe I'd be pushing a boulder up a really big hill. So, you know, there's a ton of use in here in terms of how you can use Sales Navigator to identify and source those leads and find the right ones and build the relationships with those people.
Absolutely.
I believe they do, Hannah, have a last updated profile. Again, I think one of the things to keep in mind is if you don't use LinkedIn frequently, LinkedIn has basically been entirely rewritten in the last year. It's when the mobile app was reintroduced.
Yep.
Wow.
There was a point there where there was quite a bit of spam coming out, and then LinkedIn has been fixing it.
Yeah. Great.
So, for example, I'll give you a great example. Previous contact of mine and I had kept in touch on LinkedIn professionally. I like to post fairly frequently. I use it for nurturing existing relationships.
Yeah.
And I get quite a bit of LinkedIn messages that end up turning into new business for our company. So again, not cold calling anybody, not cold calling anything, posting a lot of our content, posting a lot of
Engagement.
digital marketing content.
Exactly.
And then my network sees that I'm active in this industry, and then it becomes top of mind.
Yeah, I think
So.
I think with the new features that LinkedIn's getting, like the education center and everything like that, the courses that you can take, it's definitely going to increase for younger audiences and younger professionals looking to get involved in LinkedIn. And I find that sometimes with current young professionals getting into LinkedIn, it can sometimes be a little bit of an intimidating place because it's a more professional
it's not your
platform,
Facebook page.
but at the end of the day, it is a social platform.
It is.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I think the thing about LinkedIn in terms of what we've talked about with social selling is social selling's been this very vague kind of notion. And I think it's really in the last year and a half, again, so if you looked at something like Facebook where people do a lot of personal work, but it's an effective way to promote yourself professionally as well. You do it in a slightly different way. But with LinkedIn, what they've done is they've really doubled down, and I think that with LinkedIn doubling down as being the professional social network, then what you get out of that is higher quality profiles that exist on LinkedIn with more tools to engage. So for example, if from a social selling perspective, using LinkedIn is the Facebook of social selling, right? For business.
For
sure.
Set up slide shares on LinkedIn SlideShare with presentations and awards. You can actually go onto LinkedIn if you're a thought leader and you can create a course that you can give away for free. So let's say you're an insurance agent. Well, there's nothing stopping you from doing a 4-part course on what you need to know about the ins and outs of life insurance.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's also a great opportunity to upload any assets that you have or anything that you want to share with customers that you have or other companies too, right?
Definitely.
It kind of gives you that foot in the door to kind of start that conversation and start that relationship with the person.
Yep.
You know?
Starting to build that trust, build the engagement.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So from a social selling perspective, you've got all of these tools, and I'm just going to show you very briefly a quick view of mine, but you can see here that you've got a number of tools. You can sort by sales alerts, job changes, suggested leads, lead news, lead shares, account news, and account shares. And those two are important for the simple fact that account-based marketing is becoming extremely popular. And account-based marketing is very different than traditional types of sales and marketing, especially in the B2B space.
Yes.
Right?
Andrew says hi.
Right. Hey, Andrew.
There you go.
Hi, Andrew.
How's it going?
So,
Andrew, which Andrew?
Andrew Hassan.
Oh, you're Andrew.
Yeah. Andrew from California.
Andrew from California. There you go.
California, Andrew.
So, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Oh, yeah, account-based marketing. So from a sales perspective, if you are trying to sell into a company, the challenge of that is that you may have one contact, but that contact is part of a group, a consensus group. And especially in the B2B space, if you're trying to sell, whether it's a SaaS product, it doesn't matter. And in fact, a lot of the SaaS product startups in Communitech here, where we're located, are trying to sell to businesses. A lot of them are really focused on business to business rather than business to consumer.
Right.
Anytime that there's a commitment within an organization, you have to have consensus across multiple departments. You know, finance, IT, customer service, marketing. And so the notion of account-based marketing is actually having a multi-pronged strategy to say we're looking at the entire account. So we're making relationships in finance, we're making relationships in sales, we're making relationships in marketing and in IT or dev and IT, however it's broken down, so that the entire account is taken into account rather than one individual.
That makes sense.
Right?
And you're not narrowing down your leads either. You're expanding your leads over multiple different departments.
Which is very smart.
For sure.
So from a social selling strategy, and let's just use the concept of a SaaS product, right? So, you know, Vidyard as an example, they do a lot of B2B, and I know that they do participate this way in their sales strategy. Is you'll have multiple team members creating relationships with multiple individuals within a company, corporately then also highlighting and engaging that company at the top level. And then also, as that relationship starts to solidify, it becomes much easier to close that deal from an account level rather than from, you know, trying to get, because, you know, Sharon Smith, who might be the CFO of the company, may be totally bought in. But if the CMO or the CEO are not fully bought in, you're gonna end up having a problem.
Absolutely.
So one of the I think one of the other things on the social selling side, and listen, if you've got a flower shop, social selling is one of your most powerful weapons. Right? Local business owners that can connect with their fans and their customers. We do this with Pearl Wedding and Events. Quite effectively is creating an outreach program that every time that there's a wedding, it's not one or two, if they maybe tag, you know, one of the venues, it's part of the program. We were actually looking at it the other day. Whistlebear Golf Club has 23,000 check-ins because we launched that a few years ago, encouraging people to check into Whistlebear. It's over 500 reviews. I think 90% are 4.5 stars and above.
Very high.
Right? So it's a great proof point, and that's social selling as well, right? It's not just B2B. So if I have Dan's Flower Shop and I've got a small flower store, every single customer that comes into that shop, if I can engage with them on social media and, you know, send them a Facebook Messenger message, you know, they came into the store, if I can connect with them, send them a message saying, thank you for coming and I hope your flowers were great, let me know, you know.
It gives it a nice personal touch.
Yeah, and so social selling, it crosses a lot of divides. I think when you hear social selling, I think everybody thinks B2B, you know, SaaS, you know, long sales cycles, maybe it doesn't apply. But it doesn't. It applies for everything. Right?
For sure.
And then another one quick example of a social selling strategy. And I think the most important thing is stop thinking about the platform. Right?
No, absolutely. You can use different platforms to leverage your products
definitely.
too. The article that we were just on beforehand had a great graphic on each platform based on age or
the demographics down here.
Exactly, and it just kind of shows which platform you can best leverage.
Actually, let's
just depending on your demographic style and the age and
let me just jump down.
What age is using what platform.
For sure,
it's a great article. We'll just pull it up here for you.
Actually, maybe I don't know if you've got the. Are you on there?
I have the link here. I'll actually.
You want to give the?
I'll paste it in the Facebook group. Actually. I'll just paste it down here. There we go.
Yeah, there he is.
There it is.
And I'll post the article just down here.
Yep. So social network by demographic group.
It's a great article.
So you can see that LinkedIn does obviously trend higher. I would debate the 50 to 60-year-old. Oh well, no, it's actually. Yeah. Sorry, I was misreading the chart. I think Twitter is another really interesting way.
Yes.
So again, I think the thing with social selling is figure out who you want to get to and how you want to build that relationship, and try to figure out the best, most natural ways. One of the things, typically with a lot of companies, unless you're talking about some of the biggest, quite frequently, businesses don't get nearly as much engagement as individuals do. So if you've got an opportunity, and let's say that you're trying to pitch a company, or you're trying to develop a relationship, one of your best allies is to start opening conversations with the social media team that runs, say, a Twitter. They like the engagement. They want to see it. For them, it's a success point that they've engaged. And it's also another way to build. You could do it from your organization to their organization, or your business to their business, yours individually to their business. Start conversations, open them, and keep that going. And again, the more places that people in that organization are talking to you, the more that you'll be known. And ideally, what would happen is when, you know, maybe you get a chance to go do a presentation, that 12 people in the company are familiar with you.
They'll see you. They know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And sweat equity goes a long way. I think people appreciate that you're not, you know, sending terrible, like the worst thing you can do is just send a cold in-mail or email.
And I think we were talking about this beforehand, is you can just organically post on someone's status, or someone's post on either LinkedIn or Facebook. But you have to do it in a certain way, especially because of all the bots and spam that's out there, especially on Twitter. People know, or they're kind of like off put by it. You're like, I don't know if this is just like a copy paste or if this is like a genuine person trying to engage with you.
Well, I think, and the technical term is the bullshit detector is really high. And what you don't want to do is you do not want to come across as presenting a copy paste email to somebody, right? That you haven't taken the time, because what will happen is, and I think I mentioned this the other week, but I think it was Vidyard that did the. It was like mean, you know, when they read mean tweets on Jimmy Kimmel. But they were reading the worst B2B email introductions. And it's killer, because like people do read these. And you're never going to get in the door.
I mean, from a PR perspective, that's just like number one worst nightmare. It's just coming off as a robot and not an actual person and not genuine at all. Just
you need that humanizing effect.
Oh,
you know?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So social selling strategies, be natural, engage with the individual's post lightly at first, and slowly start to try to open that conversation. Don't just, you know, unload all of your ammo at once and send everything all at the same time. Save your LinkedIn in-mails for the right time when there is something to talk about. Expanding out to other social networks and engaging the corporate profile or the company profile. On Facebook, if you're a small business, reach out to every one of your customers. If you can get them to become a fan of your page, then even better. You can also use Facebook, like Facebook Messenger has a lot of great features where people can reach out to you and you can reach out to them. And also, and just get outside of the, people are very tool centric. Like, what tool am I going to use to do this? As opposed to saying, what would I say to somebody? Right? And how do I want to build that relationship? And then I think the other thing, and this just comes from my personal experiences, utilizing LinkedIn, for example, as a place to retain existing relationships. When people move on from organizations, and they do all the time, and if you have a really great relationship with someone at an organization and they leave, you know, you want to be able to keep in touch with that person, especially if you've got a great relationship.
Keep bridges.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it can also be used as a way for you to nurture your existing customers. But post frequently. Don't post all just about your business. Do thought leadership. Talk about what's happening in your industry. Talk to other people. Don't just talk out. Engage in those comment threads. And I think it's, for anybody that's in business, I think it's a really good use. And I don't know how much time. I honestly don't spend that much. Probably in total in a week, it's about an hour, hour and a half, depending on the week, like total. Which is far less than some other social networks. But the benefits of it are really fantastic. So if you're in sales and you're not embracing social selling, we're also offering a product on coaching social selling. That was a shameless plug, but the ability to put together a strategic plan around how you sell socially and have it go throughout your organization, and like I said, there were some great stats. What was the one that $5 ROI? A 500% ROI basically.
Yep.
So up at the
right
top.
there.
Right there.
Scroll down a little bit.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. And this I don't know how current this one is, but for every
June 25th.
June 25th. So
Yeah,
it's
very recent.
It's very recent.
Yeah.
For every $1 invested in social selling, the ROI is $5. I totally believe that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because LinkedIn Sales Navigator for Teams, for example, and this is cool because in the previous version of Sales Navigator it didn't exist, but you purchase the team account on behalf of your organization and then you assign it so that if someone moves on, the information doesn't leave with
Right.
them. It stays with the company,
Nice.
right?
That's great.
So that's actually very important and been one of the main things that a lot of companies that I've spoken to have had reservations about Sales
Of course,
Navigator.
yeah.
But with the teams, it helps solve that problem. So that's it for this time on social selling. But again, I think it's going to be a consistent topic to come
Yeah.
back to because it is
great.
actually quite interesting
Yeah.
if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's cool.
Oh, there's lots to talk about on it.
Lots. Yeah, it's a big topic.
You know
Yeah.
what? I think that's one of the first times that what's working stayed, in its own lane.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
for
It
sure.
didn't go crazy. All right, so let's go on to what's new. Who wants to kick
Right.
off the first one?
What's
Do you wanna
I
kick
think
off the
you
first
were
one? I'll
you
go.
were mentioning it.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
All right. What's new is the Stumble Upon is calling it quits after 16 years. That's a long time, but never
it's a long
fear,
time.
they are now mix.
They are now mixed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always love Stumble Upon.
Yeah, it was fun. You never know what you'd get, and some of them were very interesting.
Website roulette, yeah.
Website roulette.
Yeah.
It's a great way to find new places on the internet because
Absolutely.
there are millions of pages out there.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But the mix is bringing out some really cool stuff too, and you can still integrate your Stumble Upon account
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Mix
sure.
as well.
Which is great.
And it has more of kind of like a familiar feel to it. Like we were saying before, it kind of reminds us of
Yeah,
Pinterest.
almost a
you know
little
what I
like
mean?
Pinterest.
Yeah.
I just feel the interface is a little more, it's cleaner in my opinion. I feel
Oh,
like it's
for
easier
sure.
to navigate and
Yeah, like on the screen right there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's a snapshot. Usually they'll have a
Very
grid of
nice
the
and
different
big.
of the different stories and things like that. But it
Yeah.
is clean and it
It's
does have
very
a
clean.
familiar
Yeah.
kind of look to it. Yeah.
If you're a content marketer, and we do talk frequently about, the opportunity of being first to market and early adoption. Gary Vee talks about this a lot.
Yeah.
If you're the first one there, you're going to take advantage of so many
Yeah.
different things that if you're a year down the road,
yeah,
whether or not
have
mix.
all your bearings.
Like yeah, for sure. Like in the beginning when you join a new platform, for sure, it's not going to be like maybe the engagement you would get on Facebook or anything. But there's a solid opportunity of getting your foot in the door early
yeah, it's
and
great.
taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
And being one of the primary users or one of the flagship users
grow
of
with it.
a thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's smart.
And I mean, developers are more likely to be working with you when
Yeah.
you do join a new platform. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're hungry and they want to promote it, and you've got lots. And who knows? I mean, I would venture that Stumble Upon really stuck it out for a long time, and actually,
For sure.
Yeah,
we've
16
got
years.
we've got sites that benefited still from Stumble Upon traffic. So it's one of those things where it should be part of your mix. But
I see what you did
you see what I did there?
Yeah,
By
I see.
accident.
pretty
I
good.
totally did it by accident. But again, if you're a podcaster or if you're a blogger, e-commerce store, distribution is absolutely critical. It's everything. So when you're thinking about maybe you've got a Shopify store and maybe you're selling your product, distribute that product so more people can get their eyes on it. So taking your blog posts or your product pages
Absolutely.
and,
yeah.
and getting a profile set up
Smart,
and
yeah.
using Mix could have huge benefits. Now, if Mix exploded and you're one of the early adopters and you're one of the
There
largest,
you go.
It's-
You're in.
Yeah.
yeah. So another great example of being an early adopter, a friend of mine, Sife, who's a gamer and now a streamer, he was fighting the fight on Twitch just like everybody was at the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Kind of hit a wall, and he went over to Mixer, which is Microsoft's competing product now. I think fairly early on after Microsoft acquired Mixer. I want to say he's got 290,000 followers and over
Wow.
7.5
Wow, good
million
for him.
views. So
That's-
he's one of the
that's
top.
great.
Really good for him.
He's one of the
Great,
top
yeah.
streamers on Mixer right now.
Yeah.
Those are some
And
great numbers.
he works really hard and he builds community and does everything. But being an early adopter and
I
being
think-
one of the first there is a huge
Absolutely.
benefit.
I think on that point, I mean, a lot of people are on the Twitch hustle, a lot of people are on the live stream hustle,
Yeah.
and I think it's number one is a lot of people focus on their content, but like you said, you're not focused on which platform is best suited for your content, and getting into a new platform that's not as saturated as like say Twitch is. It's just gonna benefit you so much. I mean, on Twitch when I stream, I probably get around average like 2 to 4 viewers, but on a new platform, I think it's called I forget, it's Current or something like that. I get easily like 25 followers.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's just the benefit. Like, I'm not streaming on a flagship platform, but it's just as good. And exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to check out Mix actually and transition my StumbleUpon account because I've got a 14-year-old StumbleUpon account.
Wow, that's great.
A lot of stuff's there. So I don't know what I don't know what that's going to mean by moving over to Mix, but
we'll have to check it out.
This one is actually pretty interesting, and not for the reasons it may seem. This is the Tinder one.
Oh, right.
Where did it go?
Yes.
Just
Tinder.
give me a second.
Oh, did it go away? Oh,
It went away, but
there we go.
There we go. So cool. Tinder Loops.
Very interesting.
Tinder Loops. So it's basically an update within their app already. You don't have to download anything else. It's a 2-second loop video that you can now add onto your
profile.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing about this is from a growth hacking perspective, a 2-second GIF doesn't seem like an incredibly powerful feature, but the stats that they are presenting is that it lifted their conversion rates by 20%.
20% and a 10% increase of
swipes.
Swipes, sorry.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I mean, there's like I was telling April like before we went on. I mean, if you're an advertiser on Tinder and you have a profile set up with the 2-second loop videos, you can get some really cool stuff looking onto your profile.
People really engage with the
absolutely,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, and we were talking a couple of weeks ago when you're defining KPIs about defining what they call your North Star KPI.
Yeah.
Right. What is the most important thing that I know will affect everything else? And that's the thing you focus on and try to rid yourself of the noise. And it looks to me what Tinder has done has actually, they've done that. They said our North Star is conversation length.
Yeah.
If we can increase the length of the conversations, consumers that are, I guess, I don't know what it's called, but the subscribed version, the paid version, they will see more value in their purchase, and that's what they want. They want people to retain that subscription.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? So conversation length, and I guess right swipes is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's good.
Swipe right. Those are their North Stars. They know that if they're increasing that, they're going to grow their business.
Absolutely.
And that's the interesting thing. From a 2-second loop, which
it's not.
it doesn't seem
really
even very useful.
Yeah. Why would I have a 2-second clip?
Yeah.
But I mean.
But it actually works.
Yeah.
Yep.
People engage with it.
Absolutely. So that's really interesting from a conversion rate and an optimization point of view, a conversion growth hacking point of view. So if you looked at a company like Tinder that has an app like this, and you thought, I can just imagine the conversations that are going there on the product side. What things should we add? Right? What new features should we add? And this is a really good example of what appears to be. And now you have to take their stats at face value,
right?
Right? Because
Exactly.
it's not verified, so it could be a PR piece too. But I think it still holds true that when you're deciding on what part of your product you should be focusing on, if you have the North Star, even something that seems as trivial as this could have the biggest impact and effect.
Right.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Rather than some massive, thing that actually changes the product. That happens a lot, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
It'll be interesting to see how this expands.
Yeah. Now on to creepy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one's a little bit
a
kinda,
little creepy.
I'm very
It's a little bit
skeptical of
uneasy.
this headline, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alibaba says it passes the Turing test.
Yeah. For its content tool.
Let's see.
20,000
Yeah.
lines of copy per second.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just still, yeah.
Oh,
just
Dan,
a
I have an updated one for you. They kind of cut the article off there.
Yeah, okay.
Let me just send this to you.
Yeah, no, a lot of these tools have actually failed the Turing test. So this is an interesting claim.
Yes. So the Turing test, do you want to is Andrew watching? Are you going to feel like you're under pressure now?
Yes, now I feel like I'm under pressure.
Sweating.
I'm sweating because there's engineers now watching me.
Yeah.
Test. But isn't it? It basically is just to verify if you can tell if you're talking to a human or a computer. Is from like the simple version of that.
Yes, that's right. So basically, what it is are you able? Is a human being able to tell whether they are talking to a computer or whether they are talking to an actual human being?
Absolutely.
So the Turing tests, it's fungible because it depends on how it's applied.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it also does depend on. Sorry, where did you send that link? Did you do
I
that
put it
here?
in Basecamp, so it's updated at the comments today.
Yeah. That's just.
go.
So yeah, they have like
That's
a theological objection. They have like mathematical, whether they can like stand like arguments. I think I'm getting this right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some people argue that it's like too hard, too narrow, too
Well,
easy.
it's one of those things that it's like P equals NP. If you're in computer science, it's a very similar problem. It hasn't been done yet or hasn't been verified. That would be a huge moment in computer science if something was consistently and verifying that the Turing test could be passed by multiple applications, by multiple testers, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of that, the fact that so I'm going to 20,000 lines of advertising copy per second. But don't worry, humans will not be replaced.
Yeah,
We'll still be here.
Yeah.
we're not going to be replaced yet. No.
In 2 years. I want to show that Boston Dynamics. The more that
Are you
it's
gonna show the robot running? Or?
Oh, the creepy one?
yes, that's
the
right.
one from Black Mirror.
Oh, or Stephanie.
Yeah, that one's a little bit kind of.
Yeah, she's
I think this actually worked
it's
shockingly well last time I did it this way.
yes.
And we don't need any audio on this bad boy.
Thanks for the ad.
Skip.
Yes, there he is.
Oh man.
Look at him.
Yeah.
See if it starts going again.
So cute.
He's adorable.
He's really cute for a robot. I mean, I
Just
saw
give it
the-
a second here.
There
Let
is
it
that
load.
one robot that's
It'll start in a second. The creepy thing.
Sophia.
The
Sophia.
super.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sophia's a little scary.
Yeah, that's just
Sophia's a little creepy. This
Yeah.
is actually scarier to me.
Really?
Well, just wait.
Okay, I haven't seen this.
Because it doesn't look like it's really running that fast, but
He's just taking a jog. Oh my god.
Oh man.
okay.
Wow.
This is like the Mark 1. This is
He
like
stabilize himself. That's
yeah, it's not
Amazing.
going to
Gonna be
be
asking for John Connor.
Yes.
yes.
No, I'm not joking. That is
Terminators.
exactly what's going to happen.
It's coming.
Yeah.
And they have the dog is also a little creepy.
Yeah,
I've
that one's
seen
from
a
Black
dog.
Mirror. And if you've seen the Black Mirror episode with this dog, it's
I have not.
it's
There's,
definitely
and
pretty.
and
pretty
Jeff
intense.
Jeff Bezos bought one of these.
It's
So if
pretty
you see
cute.
like Dr. Evil sitting there with his
Yes.
Boston Dynamics robotic
he-
dog,
I mean, it's kind of cute.
that is going to be able to wait till they put a machine gun on his forehead.
Okay,
and
then yeah.
Well,
This one
yeah,
is
that's
this one
what's
is
in the book.
Yeah.
harmless. It's harmless.
I guess the thing for me is dude, that
Oh,
thing's
dude,
gonna
that just makes me anxious.
What? It's cute.
you should be very
Yeah.
worried about this because when the machines take a you combine this with that kind of artificial intelligence that can write 20,000 words a second when
it's pretty intimidating. That's pretty. Yeah.
you're gonna see this
you marry the
convergence.
two, it's going to be pretty interesting.
It's
to see the
absolutely
outcome.
creepy.
Yeah.
But
Scary,
it's
but I
what's
love it.
but it's
Yeah.
what's happening.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool.
It's what's and
It's cool, but
yeah.
it's
It's scary, but it's cool at the same time.
Yeah. I think one of the
Huge
most
fan.
interesting things about this whole conversation is we're not waiting for AI to arrive. Like it's
It's here.
It's already here.
It's already here. It's been here for quite some
And like we
time.
were
So
talking about before the Google Assistant. That
Yes, that is creepy.
that
the
is-
Google Assistant
That one
that
I
was
find
able to make the phone call, even if it was obviously it was like a.
It was staged,
If you watched
probably,
Silicon
yeah.
Valley, it was like totally a Hulu presentation, right? but yeah, they're not going to just do it live, right?
No, they can't.
But I
Show
think
them the
they've had it
Yeah.
verified that it did work, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing
It's amazing.
is they're not too far from bringing that into market,
Not at
No.
all.
right? Like you see, I have Alexa, but if you have Google Home, it's really six
Yeah,
of one,
so-
half a dozen of the other. That even the features they have in there now are progressing pretty rapidly, and AI is just
Keeps
going
updating.
Well, I think
faster
it's like
and faster.
every week
Yeah.
there's something on Alexa. I
Something
get the
new.
email where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, try this with it. It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
It integrates, with
I mean, it's
everything
still
now.
long off
Yeah.
from what they presented. I mean, Alexa still kind of frustrates me sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, just give it another couple years.
That
and
just means we still need humans, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
But if you
It's important.
if you figured that, look, it was the iPhone X was released on the 10-year anniversary of the iPhone. 10 years ago, the iPhone didn't exist. You were using a Motorola flip phone.
Yeah. Or Nokia.
That's not that long compared to what you're doing. I still remember when iPhones had only camera, not video capability. That's not that long ago. It was like the iPhone 4.
It feels
There
forever
was
ago.
no.
There's
It feels long.
There's a
It
cool
feels.
video on YouTube, and it goes through all of the keynotes for the iPhones. And I was watching it at home the other day, and it was like, watching the first keynote for the first iPhone.
Wow.
It was just like, whoa.
We've come so
Like,
far.
yeah.
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 It's crazy.
Well,
to
that's,
think.
and the big statement, which is why the big statement that Steve Jobs made was it was a computer that has a phone app, and it's not a phone with a computer app,
Right.
which is a significant change in thinking
Yeah. Yeah.
that had to take place. But this AI Alibaba is it's interesting because I do think when Jack Ma, who is the CEO, says that humans have to control the machines, I think that's important because they're
Yes,
you know
I agree.
AI has consistently failed to be reliable, which is terrifying, right?
That's a little scary.
Because
Yeah.
it's not perfect, but that the goal is not necessarily to replace the human, but to augment,
Right.
what is able to be done. I think the thing is that with AI, and if you're looking at Alibaba as being effectively the Amazon of the East, right? I mean,
For sure,
they've got
yeah.
that level. When you've got millions of products in your store, you need AI to help
Yeah.
manage a lot of that. You know, it's
That's
much more
right,
difficult
for
than
sure,
doing
yeah.
it with human beings. So, you know, again, but it all comes down to this like Dr. Evil,
Yeah.
right? Like
Just
the
need a kill
island of
switch,
Dr.
yeah.
No, like is it gonna put laser beams on sharks now and just live on an island? You never know. But it's here. And again, for your marketing efforts, there are AI platforms. There's Watson. If you're, you can actually tap into IBM's Watson via the cloud. And create intelligent bots. But there's FlowXO for Facebook Messenger. I think they do WhatsApp as well. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they can create bots for that. If you're thinking about marketing, AI is a great way to have an interactive assistant
Yes.
that can answer questions from your knowledge base that you could put together. Perform quizzes, get
Right.
interactivity, and tell people it's a bot, but they don't care if they're getting information.
No, they don't. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a first. Knock on wood. Did we stay on schedule? Kind of.
I think
We
we,
did
We're a
did.
little late.
No, but we did. We did pretty good, especially
Yeah.
with the technical difficulties.
It was
That's
pretty good.
It was, yeah, no, I enjoyed
That's
it.
been
It was,
great.
it was great conversation, and I mean, yeah,
Mhm, yeah, definitely.
I think the what's new stuff that we got out too. Like I love that. I
yeah.
love talking to AI.
really
I
cool.
love talking.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a big techie, you know.
I mean,
I
it's
just,
really cool. And
Yeah,
it's
I
important.
could do a whole
Yeah.
live about it.
And
Yeah.
this is what you do at work.
Yes. That
Yes,
is
it
awesome.
is. All right, everybody. Well, have a great weekend. It looks like it's shaping up to be not sweltering, but actually
It's
nice.
gonna be a
Very
gorgeous
nice.
weekend.
You can
Yes.
actually live outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next
care.
week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.